Confucius on Conflict Resolution. Navigating Disagreements with Ancient Wisdom. Written and published by MSC Boost. Chapter 1. Introduction. The relevance of Confucius in modern conflict resolution. In an increasingly complex and interconnected world, conflicts arise in various forms and contexts, from personal relationships to international disputes. As we seek effective ways to resolve these conflicts, the ancient wisdom of Confucius, a renowned Chinese philosopher who lived over 2,500 years ago, offers valuable insights and guidance. Confucius's teachings, rooted in the principles of harmony, respect, and moral integrity, have withstood the test of time and continue to resonate with people across cultures and generations. Confucius recognized that conflicts are an inevitable part of human interaction, but he believed that the way we approach and handle these disagreements determines the outcome and the impact on our relationships. His philosophy emphasizes the importance of self-cultivation, empathy, and the pursuit of mutual understanding as essential elements in resolving conflicts constructively. One of the central tenets of Confucian thought is the concept of ren, which encompasses qualities such as benevolence, compassion, and humaneness. By cultivating ren, individuals develop a strong sense of empathy and consideration for others, enabling them to approach conflicts with a more open and understanding mindset. When we genuinely seek to understand the perspective and needs of the other party, we create a foundation for meaningful dialogue and collaboration. Confucius also stressed the significance of self-reflection and personal growth in conflict resolution. He believed that by examining our own thoughts, emotions, and actions, we gain a deeper understanding of our role in conflicts and can take responsibility for our contributions. This introspection allows us to identify areas for improvement and develop the self-awareness necessary to communicate effectively and find mutually beneficial solutions. Moreover, Confucius emphasized the power of language and communication in resolving conflicts. He taught that words should be used wisely and with care, as they have the ability to build bridges or create barriers. By speaking with sincerity, respect, and clarity, we can foster an environment conducive to constructive dialogue and problem-solving. In today's fast-paced and often divisive world, Confucius's teachings offer a timeless framework for approaching conflicts with wisdom, compassion, and a commitment to harmonious relationships. By studying and applying his principles, we can develop the skills and mindset necessary to navigate disagreements effectively, whether in our personal lives, professional settings, or global affairs. Throughout this book, we will explore the depth and practicality of Confucian philosophy in conflict resolution. We will examine key concepts, such as the importance of self-cultivation, the art of listening, the power of empathy, and the pursuit of mutual understanding. We will also delve into specific strategies and techniques inspired by Confucian teachings that can be applied in various conflict scenarios, from interpersonal disputes to organizational challenges. By engaging with Confucius's wisdom and integrating his principles into our approach to conflict resolution, we can cultivate the skills and mindset necessary to build stronger, more harmonious relationships and contribute to a more peaceful world. As we embark on this journey of learning and growth, let us open our minds and hearts to the transformative power of Confucian philosophy and its enduring relevance in navigating the complexities of human interaction. Chapter 2. Understanding the Roots of Conflict. Confucian Perspectives. Conflict arises from a myriad of sources, both internal and external. To effectively resolve disagreements, we must first understand the underlying causes that fuel them. Confucius, with his profound insights into human nature and social dynamics, offers valuable perspectives on the roots of conflict. At the heart of many conflicts lies a fundamental misalignment of values, beliefs, and interests. When individuals or groups hold differing worldviews or prioritize competing goals, tensions can quickly escalate. Confucius recognized that these differences are inherent to the human experience, but he also believed that they need not lead to destructive outcomes. One key source of conflict, according to Confucian thought, is the failure to fulfill one's roles and responsibilities within relationships and society. Confucius emphasized the importance of understanding and adhering to the moral obligations that come with our various roles, whether as family members, friends, colleagues, or citizens. When we neglect these duties or transgress the boundaries of proper conduct, we sow the seeds of discord. Moreover, Confucius identified the human ego as a significant contributor to conflict. When individuals become excessively focused on their own desires, opinions, and self-interest, they may fail to consider the needs and perspectives of others. This self-centeredness can lead to a breakdown in communication, empathy, and mutual understanding, fueling misunderstandings and disputes. Another factor that Confucius recognized as a catalyst for conflict is the lack of self-cultivation and personal growth. When individuals fail to engage in ongoing self-reflection, learning, and character development, they may struggle to regulate their emotions, communicate effectively, and adapt to changing circumstances. This inner turmoil can manifest as outward conflict, as unresolved personal issues spill over into interpersonal relationships. Confucius also understood the role that power imbalances and social hierarchies play in generating conflict. When individuals or groups hold disproportionate power or privilege, they may be tempted to abuse their authority or disregard the rights and dignity of others. This can lead to resentment, resistance, and a breakdown in social harmony. To address these roots of conflict, Confucius advocated for a holistic approach that encompasses both personal cultivation and social responsibility. By engaging in regular self-reflection, seeking wisdom from others, and striving to live with integrity and compassion, individuals can develop the inner resources necessary to navigate conflicts constructively. At the same time, Confucius emphasized the importance of building strong, ethical relationships based on mutual respect, trust, and reciprocity. When we treat others with kindness, sincerity, and consideration, we create a foundation for open communication and collaborative problem-solving. By nurturing these positive connections, we can mitigate the potential for conflict and foster a more harmonious social fabric. Confucius also recognized the value of education and moral instruction in preventing and resolving conflicts. By instilling virtues such as benevolence, righteousness, propriety, and wisdom, we can equip individuals with the ethical framework and practical skills needed to navigate complex social interactions and resolve disagreements peacefully. Understanding the roots of conflict through a Confucian lens offers us a comprehensive and nuanced perspective. By recognizing the interplay of personal, interpersonal, and societal factors that contribute to discord, we can develop targeted strategies for addressing these underlying causes. Through self-cultivation, ethical conduct, and the nurturing of harmonious relationships, we can create a more stable and peaceful foundation for resolving conflicts and promoting social well-being. As we move forward in our exploration of Confucian wisdom for conflict resolution, keep these fundamental insights in mind. By understanding the roots of conflict, we gain a deeper appreciation for the complexity of human interactions and the importance of addressing disagreements with compassion, wisdom, and a commitment to personal and collective growth. Chapter 3. The importance of self-reflection in conflict resolution. Self-reflection plays a crucial role in conflict resolution, as Confucius consistently emphasized throughout his teachings. Before attempting to resolve disagreements with others, we must first turn our attention inward and examine our own thoughts, emotions, and actions. This introspective process enables us to gain a clearer understanding of our role in conflicts and develop the self-awareness necessary for effective communication and problem-solving. Engaging in honest self-reflection requires courage and humility. We must be willing to confront our own biases, limitations, and areas for improvement. By acknowledging our own shortcomings and taking responsibility for our contributions to conflicts, we create space for personal growth and positive change. One practical way to cultivate self-reflection is through regular contemplation and meditation. Set aside dedicated time each day to sit quietly, and observe your thoughts and feelings without judgment. Ask yourself probing questions such as, what assumptions am I making about the situation or the other person? How might my own beliefs, values, or experiences be influencing my perspective? What emotions are driving my reactions, and are they proportionate to the situation at hand? Through this practice of self-inquiry, we develop a deeper understanding of our own motivations, triggers, and patterns of behavior. We become more attuned to the ways in which our words and actions impact others, and we can identify opportunities to communicate more effectively and compassionately. Self-reflection also helps us regulate our emotions, a critical skill in conflict resolution. When we face disagreements, it's natural to experience feelings of anger, frustration, or defensiveness. However, if we allow these emotions to dictate our responses, we risk escalating the conflict and damaging relationships. By cultivating self-awareness through reflection, we learn to recognize and manage our emotional reactions, enabling us to respond more calmly and constructively. Moreover, self-reflection fosters empathy and perspective-taking, essential elements in resolving conflicts. As we examine our own thoughts and feelings, we develop a greater capacity to understand and appreciate the experiences of others. We recognize that just as we have our own unique viewpoints and needs, so do those with whom we disagree. This understanding helps us approach conflicts with a more open and compassionate mindset, seeking to find common ground and mutually beneficial solutions. Confucius also taught that self-reflection should be an ongoing process, not a one-time event. As we encounter new challenges and conflicts, we must continually reassess our own attitudes and behaviors, learning from our experiences and making necessary adjustments. This commitment to continuous self-improvement is a hallmark of Confucian philosophy and a key to success in conflict resolution. To make self-reflection a regular habit, consider keeping a journal or engaging in reflective practices with a trusted friend, mentor, or therapist. Write down your thoughts and observations after significant interactions or conflicts, and revisit these notes periodically to track your progress and identify recurring themes. Seek feedback from others who can offer constructive insights into your blind spots and areas for growth. Self-reflection is not always a comfortable process, as it requires us to confront aspects of ourselves that we may prefer to ignore or deny. However, the benefits of this practice are immeasurable. By cultivating self-awareness, emotional regulation, empathy, and a growth mindset, we equip ourselves with the tools necessary to navigate conflicts with wisdom, compassion, and skill. As Confucius reminds us, the path to resolving external conflicts begins with an honest examination of our inner selves. By prioritizing self-reflection as an integral part of our approach to conflict resolution, we lay the foundation for more harmonious relationships and a more peaceful world. Chapter 4. Cultivating Empathy. Putting yourself in others' shoes. Empathy, the ability to understand and share the feelings of another, is a fundamental skill in effective conflict resolution. Confucius recognized the transformative power of empathy in fostering understanding, compassion, and harmony in human relationships. By intentionally cultivating empathy, we develop the capacity to see beyond our own perspectives and connect with others on a deeper level, even in the midst of disagreements. Practicing empathy requires a willingness to step outside of our own experiences and genuinely consider the thoughts, feelings, and needs of others. It involves setting aside our own judgments and assumptions and approaching conflicts with an open and curious mindset. When we make a sincere effort to understand the other person's point of view, we create space for meaningful dialogue and collaborative problem solving. One practical way to cultivate empathy is through active listening. When engaged in a conversation or conflict, focus your full attention on the other person, without interrupting or mentally preparing your response. Pay close attention to their words, tone, and body language, and try to discern the underlying emotions and needs they are expressing. Ask clarifying questions to ensure you have accurately understood their perspective, and reflect back what you have heard to demonstrate your comprehension and validate their experience. Empathy also involves recognizing and acknowledging the validity of others' emotions, even if we disagree with their perspective or actions. When we dismiss or minimize someone's feelings, we erode trust and create barriers to resolution. Instead, practice expressing genuine concern and compassion, using phrases like, "I can see how that would be frustrating," or "It sounds like this situation has been really challenging for you." By validating their emotions, we create a safer and more supportive environment for productive dialogue. Another key aspect of empathy is the ability to identify and challenge our own biases and assumptions. We all carry with us a unique set of life experiences, values, and beliefs that shape our perceptions of the world. These biases can sometimes lead us to make snap judgments or interpret situations in ways that may not accurately reflect reality. By cultivating self-awareness and regularly examining our own thought patterns, we can catch ourselves when we are making unfair or incomplete assessments of others, and consciously choose to broaden our perspective. Empathy also requires vulnerability and a willingness to share our own experiences and emotions. When we open up about our own struggles, fears, and aspirations, we create opportunities for others to empathize with us in return. This mutual understanding and vulnerability can help break down barriers and foster a deeper sense of connection and trust, even in the face of conflict. It's important to recognize that empathy does not mean agreeing with everything the other person says or does. It's possible to empathize with someone's feelings while still holding firm to our own values and boundaries. The goal of empathy in conflict resolution is not to eliminate differences, but rather to create a foundation of understanding and respect from which to explore mutually beneficial solutions. Cultivating empathy is an ongoing practice that requires patience, humility, and a genuine desire to connect with others. It may feel uncomfortable or challenging at times, especially when we are dealing with individuals whose perspectives differ greatly from our own. However, the rewards of empathy are immeasurable. By consistently putting ourselves in others' shoes, we develop the capacity to build bridges, resolve conflicts, and create more harmonious and compassionate relationships. Confucius taught that empathy is not only a means to resolve conflicts, but also a path to personal growth and fulfillment. As we expand our capacity to understand and connect with others, we simultaneously deepen our own sense of humanity and purpose. By making empathy a central part of our approach to conflict resolution, we contribute to a more compassionate and interconnected world, one interaction at a time. Chapter 5. The Art of Active Listening. Hearing Beyond Words. Active listening is a critical skill in effective conflict resolution, and Confucius emphasized its importance throughout his teachings. More than simply hearing the words someone speaks, active listening involves fully concentrating on the speaker, understanding their message, and responding thoughtfully. By mastering the art of active listening, we create a foundation for productive dialogue, mutual understanding, and the successful resolution of disagreements. The first step in active listening is to give the speaker your undivided attention. Put aside distractions, such as phones or wandering thoughts, and focus solely on the person speaking. Maintain eye contact, if culturally appropriate, and use nonverbal cues like nodding or facial expressions to show that you are engaged and interested in what they have to say. This level of attentiveness demonstrates respect and helps the speaker feel heard and valued. Next, strive to understand the speaker's message, not just their words. Pay attention to their tone, facial expressions, and body language, as these nonverbal cues can provide valuable insights into their emotions and underlying concerns. If something is unclear, ask clarifying questions to ensure you have accurately grasped their meaning. Avoid interrupting or rushing to offer your own perspective. Instead, allow the speaker to fully express their thoughts and feelings. As you listen, practice empathy by putting yourself in the speaker's shoes. Try to understand their experiences, beliefs, and values that may be influencing their perspective. Even if you disagree with their viewpoint, make an effort to see the situation through their eyes. This empathetic approach fosters a deeper understanding of their position and helps create a more compassionate and collaborative environment for problem solving. An essential aspect of active listening is reflecting back what you have heard to confirm your understanding and validate the speaker's experience. Use phrases like, "What I'm hearing is," or "It sounds like you're feeling," to paraphrase their message and check for accuracy. This reflective listening technique not only ensures that you have correctly understood their perspective, but also helps the speaker feel heard and acknowledged. It's important to note that active listening does not mean agreeing with everything the speaker says. You can listen attentively and empathetically while still maintaining your own opinions and boundaries. The goal is to create a space for open and respectful communication, where both parties feel safe to express their thoughts and feelings without fear of judgment or retaliation. Active listening also involves managing your own emotional reactions during the conversation. When discussing sensitive or contentious issues, it's natural to experience feelings of defensiveness, frustration, or anger. However, allowing these emotions to dictate your responses can quickly derail the dialogue and escalate the conflict. Instead, practice self-awareness and emotional regulation by taking deep breaths, maintaining a calm tone of voice, and focusing on understanding rather than reacting. Developing active listening skills requires practice and patience. It may feel uncomfortable or unnatural at first, especially if you are used to jumping in with your own opinions or solutions. However, by consistently prioritizing listening over speaking, you will gradually build your capacity for empathy, understanding, and effective communication. The benefits of active listening extend far beyond conflict resolution. By truly hearing and understanding others, you foster deeper, more trusting relationships built on mutual respect and cooperation. You create opportunities for learning, growth, and the exchange of ideas as you open yourself up to diverse perspectives and experiences. Confucius taught that active listening is not only a means to resolve conflicts, but also a path to personal and social harmony. By honoring others through attentive and empathetic listening, we contribute to a more compassionate and interconnected world. As you continue to develop your active listening skills, approach each conversation as an opportunity to build bridges, deepen understanding, and cultivate the wisdom necessary for navigating life's challenges with grace and resilience. Chapter 6. Effective Communication. Speaking with clarity and respect. Effective communication is a fundamental aspect of successful conflict resolution, and Confucius recognized its significance in fostering understanding, harmony, and positive relationships. When we express ourselves with clarity, respect, and intentionality, we create an environment conducive to productive dialogue and collaborative problem solving. By mastering the skills of effective communication, we equip ourselves with the tools necessary to navigate even the most challenging disagreements with grace and wisdom. One key principle of effective communication is to speak with clarity and precision. Often, conflicts arise due to misunderstandings or ambiguity in our words. To minimize confusion and ensure our message is accurately conveyed, it's essential to be specific, direct, and concise in our language. Avoid using vague or abstract terms that leave room for interpretation. Instead, strive to express your thoughts and feelings in a clear and concrete manner. When communicating during a conflict, it's also crucial to choose your words carefully. The language we use has the power to either escalate or de-escalate tensions, so it's important to be mindful of the impact our words may have on the other person. Avoid using accusatory or blaming statements that put the other person on the defensive. Instead, focus on expressing your own experiences and needs using I statements. For example, instead of saying, "You always ignore my opinions," try rephrasing it as, "I feel unheard when my opinions aren't taken into consideration." Respect is another essential component of effective communication. Even in the heat of a disagreement, it's important to treat the other person with dignity and consideration. This means avoiding personal attacks, insults, or dismissive language that belittles their perspective or feelings. Instead, Strive to maintain a calm and respectful tone, even if you strongly disagree with their viewpoint. By demonstrating respect through your words and demeanor, you create a safer and more collaborative environment for problem solving. Effective communication also involves being an active and attentive listener. Rather than simply waiting for your turn to speak, genuinely focus on understanding the other person's perspective. Give them your full attention, ask clarifying questions, and reflect back what you've heard to ensure you've accurately grasped their message. By showing that you value their input and are committed to understanding their needs, you build trust and create a foundation for mutually beneficial solutions. Timing and context are also important considerations in effective communication. Choose a moment when both parties are calm and receptive to discussion, rather than attempting to address a sensitive issue in the midst of heightened emotions. Be mindful of the setting and any potential cultural differences that may impact how your message is received. Adapt your communication style to suit the needs of the situation and the individual, while still remaining true to your own values and intentions. It's important to recognize that effective communication is a skill that requires practice and ongoing development. We all have our own unique communication styles, biases, and triggers that can sometimes hinder productive dialogue. By regularly reflecting on our own patterns and seeking feedback from others, we can identify areas for improvement and consciously work to refine our communication skills. One practical way to enhance your communication effectiveness is to seek out resources and training in areas such as active listening, nonviolent communication, or conflict resolution. Engage in role-playing exercises with a trusted friend or colleague to practice expressing yourself clearly and respectfully in challenging situations. Regularly assess your own communication strengths and weaknesses, and set specific goals for improvement. The benefits of effective communication extend far beyond conflict resolution. By expressing ourselves with clarity, respect, and intentionality, we build stronger, more trusting relationships in all areas of our lives. We create opportunities for deeper understanding, collaboration, and personal growth. Through his teachings, Confucius emphasized that our words have the power to either create harmony or sow discord. By mastering the art of effective communication, we become agents of positive change, contributing to a more compassionate and interconnected world. With each interaction, we have the opportunity to build bridges, foster understanding, and cultivate the wisdom necessary for navigating life's challenges with skill and grace. Chapter 7. The Power of Humility in Resolving Disputes. Humility is a vital virtue in effective conflict resolution, and Confucius recognized its transformative power in fostering understanding, rapport, and mutually beneficial outcomes. When we approach disagreements with a humble mindset, we create space for open dialogue, personal growth, and the discovery of win-win solutions. By cultivating humility, we equip ourselves with a powerful tool for navigating even the most challenging conflicts with grace and wisdom. At its core, humility involves recognizing our own limitations, biases, and areas for improvement. It means acknowledging that we don't have all the answers, and that our perspective is just one among many. When we adopt a humble stance, we become more open to learning from others, even those with whom we disagree. We create opportunities for personal growth and the expansion of our own understanding. In the context of conflict resolution, humility allows us to approach disagreements with a spirit of curiosity and openness rather than defensiveness or self-righteousness. Instead of focusing solely on proving our own point or winning the argument, we become genuinely interested in understanding the other person's perspective. We ask questions, listen attentively, and seek to find common ground. One practical way to cultivate humility is to practice self-reflection regularly. Take time to honestly examine your own thoughts, feelings, and actions, particularly in relation to the conflict at hand. Ask yourself questions such as, what assumptions am I making about the situation or the other person? How might my own biases or past experiences be influencing my perspective? What can I learn from this disagreement, even if it's uncomfortable? By engaging in this type of introspection, we develop a deeper awareness of our own strengths and limitations. We become more attuned to the ways in which our words and actions impact others, and we can identify opportunities for personal growth and skill development. This self-awareness, rooted in humility, allows us to approach conflicts with greater empathy, flexibility, and resourcefulness. Humility also involves being willing to admit when we are wrong or have made a mistake. This can be challenging, as it requires setting aside our ego and embracing vulnerability. However, when we acknowledge our own missteps or misunderstandings, we demonstrate a commitment to truth and fairness rather than a need to be right at all costs. This authenticity can go a long way in building trust and rapport with the other party, even in the midst of a disagreement. Another key aspect of humility in conflict resolution is the willingness to compromise and find mutually beneficial solutions. When we approach disagreements with a win-lose mentality, we often become entrenched in our own positions and fail to see potential areas for collaboration. By contrast, when we embrace a humble, cooperative mindset, we become more open to exploring creative solutions that meet both parties' needs. To practice this type of humble problem solving, try reframing the conflict as a shared challenge rather than a battle to be won. Use language that emphasizes collaboration and mutual respect, such as, "How can we work together to find a solution that works for both of us?" Or, "I value your perspective and want to find a way forward that honors both of our needs." By approaching the disagreement as a team, you create a more positive and productive environment for resolution. It's important to note that humility does not mean passivity or a lack of self-respect. We can be humble while still maintaining healthy boundaries and advocating for our own needs and values. The key is to do so with a spirit of openness, compassion, and a willingness to find common ground. The benefits of cultivating humility extend far beyond conflict resolution. When we approach life with a humble mindset, we open ourselves up to endless opportunities for learning, growth, and connection. We become more resilient in the face of challenges, more adaptable to change, and more capable of building strong, trusting relationships. Throughout his teachings, Confucius emphasized the importance of humility as a foundation for personal and societal harmony. By embracing humility as a guiding principle in our lives, we become a positive force for change, contributing to a more compassionate, understanding, and peaceful world. With each conflict we face, we have the opportunity to put this wisdom into practice, approaching disagreements with a spirit of openness, curiosity, and a commitment to finding mutually beneficial solutions. Chapter 8. Seeking common ground. Finding shared values and interests. In the midst of conflict, it's easy to focus on the differences that divide us, leading to an us versus them mentality that can quickly escalate tensions and hinder resolution. However, Confucius recognized that even in the most heated disagreements, there often exist shared values, interests, and goals that can serve as a foundation for building understanding and finding mutually beneficial solutions. By actively seeking common ground, we create a more collaborative and productive environment for resolving disputes. The first step in finding common ground is to shift our mindset from one of opposition to one of exploration. Instead of approaching the conflict as a battle to be won, we can choose to view it as an opportunity to learn, grow, and find creative solutions that benefit all parties involved. This shift in perspective allows us to approach the disagreement with a spirit of curiosity, openness, and a willingness to understand the other person's needs and concerns. One practical way to uncover shared values and interests is to ask open-ended questions that encourage the other party to express their perspective more fully. Instead of making assumptions or jumping to conclusions, we can use phrases like, "Can you help me understand what's most important to you in this situation?" Or, "What are your main concerns or goals related to this issue?" By genuinely seeking to understand the other person's viewpoint, we demonstrate respect and create space for dialogue. As we listen to the other party's responses, it's essential to pay attention to the underlying needs, values, and interests they express, rather than focusing solely on their positions or demands. Often, beneath the surface of a conflict lie shared desires for things like security, respect, fairness, or progress. By identifying these common threads, we can begin to build bridges and explore solutions that address both parties' core concerns. For example, imagine a conflict between two neighbors over a proposed fence. On the surface, it may seem like a simple dispute over property lines and aesthetics. However, by digging deeper, we might discover that both neighbors share a common interest in maintaining privacy, security, and good relations with each other. By focusing on these shared goals, the neighbors can work together to find a solution that meets both of their needs, such as finding a mutually agreeable fence design or exploring alternative privacy options. Another key aspect of seeking common ground is to focus on the future rather than dwelling on the past. When conflicts escalate, it's easy to get caught up in rehashing past grievances or assigning blame. However, this backward-looking approach rarely leads to productive solutions. Instead, we can choose to focus on the desired outcome and explore ways to move forward together. One way to do this is to use future-oriented language that emphasizes collaboration and problem-solving. Instead of saying, "you always," or "you never," try using phrases like, "how can we work together to prevent this from happening in the future?" Or, "what steps can we both take to move forward positively?" By keeping the conversation focused on the desired outcome, we create a more constructive and solution-oriented atmosphere. It's important to note that seeking common ground doesn't mean ignoring or minimizing the very real differences and challenges that may exist between parties. It's possible to acknowledge and respect these differences while still finding areas of overlap and shared interest. The goal is not to eliminate all disagreements, but rather to create a foundation of understanding and goodwill from which to explore mutually beneficial solutions. The benefits of seeking common ground extend far beyond any single conflict. When we approach disagreements with a spirit of openness, curiosity, and a commitment to finding shared values and interests, we build stronger, more resilient relationships. We develop the skills and mindset necessary for collaborating effectively, even in the face of complex challenges. Seeking common ground is a practice that requires ongoing effort and a willingness to step outside our own perspectives. It asks us to be patient, empathetic, and open to learning from others. The wisdom of Confucius reminds us that even in the midst of the most intractable conflicts, there is always the potential for understanding, growth, and resolution. By making the active choice to seek common ground, we become agents of positive change, contributing to a more harmonious and interconnected world, one conversation at a time. Chapter 9. The role of patience in conflict resolution. Patience is a fundamental virtue in effective conflict resolution, and Confucius recognized its transformative power in fostering understanding, trust, and lasting solutions. In a world that often prioritizes quick fixes and instant gratification, the practice of patience can feel counterintuitive or even frustrating. However, when we cultivate patience in the face of disagreements, we create space for deeper understanding, creative problem solving, and the development of resilient relationships. At its core, patience involves the ability to remain calm, composed, and focused in the face of challenges or delays. It requires us to regulate our own emotions and impulses, even when faced with frustration, anger, or disappointment. When we bring patience to conflict situations, we resist the urge to react impulsively or lash out in the heat of the moment. Instead, we create a stable and constructive environment for dialogue and problem solving. One practical way to cultivate patience in conflict resolution is to practice mindfulness and self-awareness. Before engaging in a difficult conversation or negotiation, take a few moments to center yourself and observe your own internal state. Notice any physical sensations, emotions, or thoughts that may be arising, without judgment or reaction. By bringing awareness to your own experience, you can develop the ability to respond intentionally rather than reacting automatically. Another key aspect of patience in conflict resolution is the willingness to allow the process to unfold naturally, without rushing to a resolution. Often, when conflicts arise, there is a temptation to seek a quick and tidy solution, even if it means glossing over important issues or concerns. However, true resolution often requires a more gradual and iterative process, one that allows for the exploration of multiple perspectives, the uncovering of underlying needs, and the development of creative solutions. To practice patience in this way, it can be helpful to reframe the conflict as an opportunity for learning and growth, rather than a problem to be solved as quickly as possible. By approaching disagreements with a spirit of curiosity and openness, we create space for deeper understanding and the emergence of unexpected insights. We also communicate to the other party that we value their perspective and are committed to finding a mutually beneficial outcome, even if it takes time. Patience is also essential when it comes to building and maintaining trust in conflict situations. When disagreements arise, it's common for trust to be eroded, as parties may feel misunderstood, disrespected, or even betrayed. Rebuilding that trust requires a patient and consistent effort, one that demonstrates a commitment to honesty, reliability, and follow-through over time. One way to cultivate trust through patience is to focus on small, incremental steps, rather than trying to solve everything at once. This might involve setting aside larger issues temporarily in order to focus on areas of agreement or shared concern. By celebrating small victories and demonstrating a consistent commitment to the relationship, we gradually lay the foundation for more significant breakthroughs and lasting resolution. It's important to recognize that patience doesn't mean passivity or a lack of progress. Rather, it involves an active and engaged presence, one that is responsive to the needs of the situation without being reactive or impulsive. Patience requires us to be strategic and intentional in our communication, to listen deeply and reflect carefully before speaking, and to maintain a long-term perspective even in the face of short-term challenges. The benefits of cultivating patience in conflict resolution extend far beyond any single disagreement. When we approach conflicts with a patient and centered presence, we develop the resilience and adaptability necessary to navigate complex challenges with skill and grace. We also model a way of being that inspires trust, respect, and collaboration in those around us. Patience is a practice that requires ongoing effort and a willingness to embrace discomfort and uncertainty. It asks us to trust in the inherent wisdom of the process, even when the path ahead may seem unclear or difficult. The teachings of Confucius remind us that true resolution often requires a steadfast commitment to our highest values and a willingness to persevere through challenges. By cultivating patience as a cornerstone of our approach to conflict, we tap into a powerful source of strength, compassion, and creativity, one that enables us to transform even the most intractable disputes into opportunities for growth, connection, and positive change. Through our patient and persistent efforts, we contribute to a more harmonious and interconnected world, one conversation and one relationship at a time. By embodying the wisdom of patience in our own lives, we become a force for good, inspiring others to approach conflict with greater understanding, skill, and care. In this way, we honor the timeless teachings of Confucius and lay the foundation for a more peaceful and prosperous future for all. Chapter 10. Managing emotions, responding versus reacting. Emotions play a significant role in conflicts, often fueling misunderstandings, escalating tensions, and hindering resolution. Confucius recognized the importance of managing emotions effectively in conflict situations, emphasizing the need to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. By cultivating emotional intelligence and self-regulation, we equip ourselves with the tools necessary to navigate disagreements with clarity, compassion, and skill. At the heart of emotional management lies the ability to distinguish between responding and reacting. When we react to a conflict, we act on impulse, allowing our emotions to dictate our words and actions without pause for reflection. This can lead to hurtful or unproductive exchanges that damage relationships and make resolution more difficult. In contrast, when we respond to conflict, we take a moment to process our emotions, consider the situation from multiple angles, and choose a course of action that aligns with our values and goals. One practical way to develop the capacity for thoughtful response is to practice mindfulness in the midst of conflict. When emotions begin to escalate, take a few deep breaths, bringing your attention to the present moment. Notice any physical sensations, thoughts, or feelings that arise, without judgment or attachment. By creating space between the trigger and your response, you give yourself the opportunity to choose a more constructive path forward. This practice of mindfulness can be enhanced by cultivating self-awareness more broadly. Take time to reflect on your own emotional patterns and triggers, both in conflicts and in daily life. What situations tend to elicit strong reactions from you? What underlying needs, fears, or beliefs might be driving those reactions? By developing a deeper understanding of your own emotional landscape, you can more readily identify and address unproductive patterns as they arise. Another key aspect of managing emotions in conflict is learning to communicate them effectively. When emotions are running high, it can be tempting to lash out, shut down, or engage in other defensive behaviors. However, these reactions often escalate conflicts and make resolution more difficult. Instead, practice expressing your emotions clearly and directly, using I statements that focus on your own experience rather than attacking or blaming the other person. For example, instead of saying, "You always disregard my opinions," try saying, "I feel disrespected when my input isn't taken into account." By owning your emotions and communicating them in a non-judgmental way, you create an opening for the other person to understand your perspective and engage in productive dialogue. It's also important to recognize that managing emotions doesn't mean suppressing or ignoring them. Emotions serve an important function, providing valuable information about our needs, values, and boundaries. The goal is not to eliminate emotions, but rather to develop a healthy relationship with them, one that allows us to experience and express them in constructive ways. One way to cultivate this healthy relationship with emotions is to practice self-care and stress management more broadly. Engage in activities that help you relax, recharge, and maintain a sense of perspective, such as exercise, meditation, or spending time in nature. By nurturing your own emotional well-being, you develop greater resilience and adaptability in the face of conflicts and challenges. Managing emotions in conflict also requires a willingness to empathize with the emotions of others. Even when we disagree with someone's perspective or actions, we can still seek to understand the underlying feelings and needs that may be driving their behavior. By extending empathy and compassion, we create a more supportive and collaborative environment for problem solving. The benefits of cultivating emotional intelligence in conflict resolution extend far beyond any single disagreement. When we develop the capacity to respond thoughtfully to emotions, both our own and others, we build stronger, more resilient relationships. We also model a way of being that inspires trust, respect, and understanding in those around us. Learning to manage emotions is a lifelong practice that requires patience, self-reflection, and a commitment to personal growth. The wisdom of Confucius reminds us that our emotional responses are not fixed or inevitable, but rather a product of our own choices and habits of mind. By making the conscious choice to cultivate emotional intelligence, we tap into a powerful source of strength and resilience in the face of life's challenges. The path of emotional mastery is not always easy, but it is a path worth taking. By developing the skills to respond thoughtfully to emotions, we become more effective problem solvers, communicators, and peacemakers. We contribute to a world where conflicts are met with compassion, creativity, and a commitment to mutual understanding. In this way, we honor the timeless wisdom of Confucius and lay the foundation for a more harmonious and fulfilling life, one moment at a time. Chapter 11. The significance of timing in addressing conflicts. Timing plays a crucial role in effectively addressing and resolving conflicts. Confucius understood the importance of choosing the right moment to engage in difficult conversations or tackle complex issues. By being strategic and thoughtful about when to address disagreements, we create a more conducive environment for productive dialogue and mutually beneficial outcomes. One key aspect of timing in conflict resolution is assessing the readiness of all parties involved. Even if we feel prepared to discuss a disagreement, it's essential to consider whether the other person is in an emotional and mental state that allows for constructive engagement. Attempting to force a conversation when someone is feeling overwhelmed, defensive, or distracted can backfire, leading to further misunderstanding and escalation. To gauge readiness, pay attention to nonverbal cues and the overall tone of your interactions. If the other person seems agitated, closed off, or preoccupied with other matters, it may be wise to postpone the discussion until a more opportune moment. You can communicate your desire to address the issue while also respecting their need for space or time to prepare. For example, you might say, "I can see that this is a challenging topic for us both. Could we set aside some time to discuss it more fully when we're both feeling ready?" Timing also involves being sensitive to the larger context in which a conflict occurs. Are there external factors or stressors that might be influencing the situation, such as work deadlines, family obligations, or personal challenges? By taking a holistic view of the circumstances surrounding a disagreement, we can make more informed choices about when and how to engage in problem-solving efforts. In some cases, it may be necessary to prioritize more pressing concerns before addressing a specific conflict. For instance, if a team is facing an urgent crisis or a looming project deadline, it may be more productive to focus on collaboration and problem solving in the short term, while acknowledging the need to revisit underlying tensions or disagreements once the immediate situation has stabilized. Another aspect of timing in conflict resolution is being patient and allowing the process to unfold naturally. Rushing to find a solution or pushing for a resolution before all parties are ready can lead to superficial or short-lived agreements. Instead, prioritize creating a safe and supportive environment where everyone feels heard, respected, and valued. Trust that with open and honest communication, a mutually satisfactory resolution will emerge in its own time. That said, timing also involves recognizing when a conflict has reached a point of stagnation or when avoidance is causing further harm. If a disagreement continues to fester or escalate despite attempts to address it, it may be necessary to take a more proactive approach. This could involve seeking the guidance of a neutral third party, such as a mediator or facilitator, who can help create a structured and safe space for dialogue. When deciding to initiate a conversation about a conflict, consider the time and place carefully. Choose a setting that feels comfortable and conducive to open communication for all involved. Ensure that there is enough time set aside to fully explore the issue without interruptions or distractions. If possible, provide advance notice to the other party, so they have an opportunity to reflect and prepare for the conversation. During the discussion itself, be mindful of pacing and the ebb and flow of emotions. If tensions begin to escalate, or if the conversation veers off course, don't hesitate to suggest a break or a moment of reflection. Sometimes, allowing for a brief pause or a chance to regroup can help everyone return to the table with greater clarity and receptivity. Timing in conflict resolution also involves being responsive to shifts and developments as they occur. As new information comes to light, or as perspectives evolve, be willing to adapt your approach and strategies accordingly. Staying flexible and attuned to the needs of the moment can help you navigate complex or changing dynamics with greater skill and agility. The wisdom of Confucius reminds us that timing is not just about choosing the right moment to act, but also about cultivating the patience, discernment, and skillfulness to respond effectively when that moment arises. By developing a keen sense of timing in conflict situations, we position ourselves to create the conditions for true understanding, healing, and growth. Mastering the art of timing in conflict resolution is a lifelong practice, one that requires ongoing reflection, adaptability, and a commitment to the greater good. By approaching conflicts with a thoughtful and strategic mindset, we become more effective agents of positive change, both in our own lives and in the world around us. So let us move forward with compassion, wisdom, and a deep respect for the power of timing in all our endeavors. Chapter 12. Navigating power dynamics in conflict situations. Power dynamics play a significant role in many conflict situations, influencing how disagreements unfold and how resolutions are reached. Confucius recognized the importance of understanding and skillfully navigating power imbalances in order to foster more equitable and harmonious outcomes. By developing awareness of power dynamics and cultivating strategies for addressing them constructively, we become more effective agents of positive change in our relationships and communities. Power disparities can take many forms, from differences in social status, wealth, or authority to imbalances in access to resources, information, or support. These disparities can create significant barriers to effective communication and problem solving, particularly when those with greater power are unaware of or unwilling to acknowledge their privilege. One key aspect of navigating power dynamics in conflict is developing a keen awareness of your own power and privilege, as well as that of others involved. Take time to reflect on the various sources of power you hold, whether based on your identity, position, or access to resources. Consider how these factors might be influencing your perspective, your communication style, or your ability to advocate for your needs and interests. At the same time, seek to understand the power dynamics at play for the other party. What sources of power or privilege do they hold? What barriers or challenges might they be facing that limit their ability to engage fully in the conflict resolution process? By cultivating empathy and perspective taking, you can develop a more nuanced understanding of the complex interplay of power in the situation. When power imbalances are present, it's essential to take proactive steps to level the playing field and create a more equitable environment for dialogue and problem solving. This might involve advocating for the inclusion of marginalized voices, ensuring that all parties have access to the information and resources they need to participate fully, or establishing ground rules and agreements that promote fairness and respect. In some cases, it may be necessary to enlist the support of a neutral third party, such as a mediator or facilitator, who can help create a more balanced and structured space for communication. A skilled facilitator can help ensure that all voices are heard, that power dynamics are acknowledged and addressed, and that the process remains focused on finding mutually beneficial solutions. Another key strategy for navigating power dynamics in conflict is to focus on interests rather than positions. When parties become entrenched in their own positions or demands, it can be difficult to find common ground or explore creative solutions. Instead, seek to understand the underlying needs, concerns, and aspirations that are driving each party's perspective. By shifting the focus to interests, you create more room for collaboration and compromise. It's also important to be mindful of your own communication style and how it might be perceived by others. If you hold greater power or privilege in the situation, be aware of how your words, tone, and body language might be impacting the other party. Strive to communicate in a way that is respectful, inclusive, and attentive to the needs and experiences of all involved. When addressing power imbalances, it's crucial to approach the process with patience, persistence, and a commitment to the long-term health of the relationship or system. Changing entrenched power dynamics often requires ongoing effort and a willingness to challenge the status quo. It may involve difficult conversations, moments of discomfort, or setbacks along the way. However, the rewards of successfully navigating power dynamics in conflict are significant. By creating more equitable and inclusive environments for problem solving, we foster greater trust, collaboration, and innovation. We build relationships and communities that are more resilient, adaptable, and able to meet the complex challenges of our time. The wisdom of Confucius reminds us that true power lies not in dominance or control, but in the ability to create harmony and balance in our relationships and societies. By developing the awareness, skills, and compassion to navigate power dynamics effectively, we become more capable of creating the conditions for mutual understanding, growth, and transformation. Navigating power dynamics in conflict is a lifelong practice, one that requires ongoing reflection, learning, and adaptation. It calls us to confront uncomfortable truths about ourselves and the world around us, and to work tirelessly to create more just and equitable systems for all. Though the path may be challenging, it is a path worth taking, one step at a time. With wisdom, courage, and a steadfast commitment to the greater good, we can transform even the most intractable conflicts into opportunities for positive change and growth. Chapter 13. The Art of Persuasion. Influencing others with integrity. Persuasion plays a crucial role in resolving conflicts and fostering positive change. Confucius understood the power of skillful persuasion to shape attitudes, build consensus, and inspire action. However, he also recognized the importance of wielding this power with integrity, always seeking to influence others towards the greater good, rather than manipulating them for personal gain. By mastering the art of ethical persuasion, we become more effective agents of transformation in our relationships, organizations, and communities. At its core, persuasion involves the ability to communicate ideas and perspectives in a way that moves others to consider, accept, or act upon them. It requires a deep understanding of human psychology, as well as the capacity to tailor one's message to the needs, values, and motivations of a specific audience. When wielded with skill and integrity, persuasion can be a powerful tool for bridging divides, overcoming resistance, and finding mutually beneficial solutions to complex problems. One key aspect of effective persuasion is building credibility and trust with those you seek to influence. This involves demonstrating expertise, reliability, and authenticity in your words and actions. When others perceive you as knowledgeable, trustworthy, and genuinely committed to their well-being, they are more likely to be open to your perspectives and ideas. To build credibility, it's essential to do your homework and come prepared with factual evidence, concrete examples, and well-reasoned arguments. At the same time, be willing to acknowledge the limits of your knowledge and expertise, and seek out the insights and perspectives of others. By approaching persuasion as a collaborative learning process, rather than a one-way transmission of information, you create space for genuine dialogue and mutual understanding. Effective persuasion also requires empathy and a deep understanding of your audience. Take time to listen actively to the concerns, doubts, and aspirations of those you seek to influence. Seek to understand their unique challenges, pressures, and priorities, and tailor your message accordingly. When others feel seen, heard, and understood, they are more likely to be receptive to your ideas and perspectives. When crafting your message, focus on the benefits and outcomes that matter most to your audience. Instead of simply emphasizing features or abstract principles, paint a vivid picture of how your proposed solution can improve their lives, work, or relationships in concrete ways. Use storytelling, analogies, and real-world examples to make your ideas come alive and resonate on an emotional level. It's also important to anticipate and address potential objections or concerns head-on. By proactively acknowledging and responding to the doubts or reservations of your audience, you demonstrate respect for their perspective and a willingness to engage in genuine dialogue. Be open to feedback and willing to adjust your approach based on new information or insights. When seeking to persuade others, be mindful of the power dynamics at play. If you hold greater authority, status, or privilege, be aware of how this might impact the receptivity of your audience. Strive to create an environment of psychological safety and respect, where all voices can be heard and valued. Avoid using coercive tactics or pressure, and always respect the autonomy and agency of those you seek to influence. At the same time, be willing to stand firm in your convictions and values, even in the face of resistance or opposition. Effective persuasion often requires courage, persistence, and a willingness to challenge the status quo. By staying true to your principles and vision, while remaining open to feedback and collaboration, you can inspire others to join you in creating meaningful change. The art of persuasion is a lifelong practice, one that requires ongoing reflection, learning, and adaptation. It calls us to examine our own motivations and biases, and to continually refine our communication skills and strategies. Through trial and error, we learn to read the nuances of different audiences and situations, and to adapt our approach accordingly. Confucius teaches us that true persuasion is rooted in character, integrity, and a commitment to the greater good. By cultivating these qualities within ourselves, and by approaching persuasion as an opportunity for mutual learning and growth, we become more effective catalysts for positive change. With wisdom, compassion, and skillful communication, we can transform even the most entrenched conflicts into opportunities for shared understanding and progress. Though the path of persuasion is not always easy, it is a path worth taking. By developing our capacity to influence others with integrity, we contribute to a world where diverse perspectives can be heard, respected, and synthesized in service of the common good. So let us move forward with courage, humility, and a deep commitment to the transformative power of ethical persuasion. Chapter 14. Seeking win-win solutions. Achieving mutually beneficial outcomes. In conflict situations, it's easy to fall into the trap of viewing the resolution as a zero-sum game, where one party's gain necessarily means the other's loss. However, Confucius understood that true harmony and lasting peace require a different approach, one that seeks to create win-win solutions that benefit all parties involved. By shifting our mindset and strategies towards achieving mutually beneficial outcomes, we unlock the potential for creative problem-solving, stronger relationships, and more sustainable agreements. The first step in seeking win-win solutions is to reframe the conflict as a shared challenge, rather than a battle between opposing sides. This means approaching the situation with a spirit of collaboration, curiosity, and open-mindedness. Instead of focusing on defending your own position or proving the other party wrong, strive to understand the underlying needs, interests, and concerns that are driving the conflict. To uncover these deeper drivers, engage in active listening and ask open-ended questions that invite the other party to share their perspective more fully. Suspend judgment and resist the urge to interrupt or formulate counterarguments. By creating a safe and respectful space for dialogue, you build trust and lay the foundation for creative problem solving. As you gain a clearer understanding of the other party's needs and interests, share your own with equal transparency and authenticity. Be specific about what matters most to you and why, while also acknowledging the validity of the other party's concerns. By establishing a shared understanding of each other's key priorities and aspirations, you create a framework for exploring mutually beneficial solutions. When brainstorming potential win-win outcomes, think expansively and creatively. Encourage all parties to generate a wide range of ideas without censoring or criticizing them. Look for opportunities to create value or expand the pie, rather than simply dividing up existing resources. This might involve identifying complementary strengths, resources, or networks that each party brings to the table, or exploring novel ways to combine efforts towards a shared goal. As you evaluate potential solutions, consider both the short-term and long-term implications for all stakeholders involved. Seek out options that not only satisfy immediate needs, but also align with the values, mission, and vision of each party. Be willing to think beyond the confines of the current situation and explore how the resolution might create positive ripple effects in other areas of life or work. When negotiating win-win agreements, focus on interests rather than positions. Instead of getting locked into specific demands or proposals, stay curious about the underlying needs and motivations behind them. Look for ways to satisfy these core interests through creative trade-offs, contingencies, or alternative pathways. Be willing to make concessions on low-priority items in order to secure gains on issues that matter most. Throughout the problem-solving process, maintain a commitment to fairness, respect, and mutual benefit, Avoid power plays, manipulation, or coercive tactics that undermine trust and goodwill. Be transparent about your own needs and limitations, and respect the other party's right to advocate for their own interests as well. When conflicts or misunderstandings arise, address them directly and honestly, with a focus on finding a resolution that works for everyone. As you work towards win-win solutions, be patient and persistent. Complex conflicts rarely resolve overnight, and setbacks or roadblocks are a normal part of the process. Stay focused on the bigger picture and the long-term benefits of collaboration, even in the face of short-term challenges. Celebrate incremental progress and small victories along the way, and use them as motivation to keep moving forward. Seeking win-win solutions is a skill that requires practice, creativity, and a growth mindset. It asks us to challenge our assumptions, to stay open to new possibilities, and to believe in the potential for mutual gain. By cultivating this approach as a habit and a discipline, we become more effective problem solvers, collaborators, and leaders. The wisdom of Confucius reminds us that true success and fulfillment come not from triumphing over others, but from creating value and harmony in our relationships and communities. By mastering the art of win-win problem solving, we tap into a powerful source of innovation, resilience, and shared prosperity. With each conflict we navigate using these principles, we contribute to a world where cooperation and mutual benefit are the norm, and where every challenge becomes an opportunity for growth and positive change. Though the path of win-win solutions is not always easy or straightforward, it is a path worth pursuing with dedication and skill. By staying true to our values, building strong relationships, and leveraging the power of creative collaboration, we can transform even the most intractable conflicts into sources of shared learning, healing, and success. So let us move forward with a spirit of possibility, a commitment to mutual benefit, and an unwavering belief in the potential for win-win outcomes in all our endeavors. Chapter 15. The importance of forgiveness and letting go. Forgiveness plays a crucial role in resolving conflicts and healing relationships. Confucius recognized the transformative power of forgiveness in fostering inner peace, reconciliation, and personal growth. By learning to let go of grievances, resentments, and the desire for retribution, we free ourselves from the burden of past hurts and create space for renewed understanding, compassion, and harmony. Forgiveness does not mean condoning hurtful actions or absolving others of responsibility for their choices. Rather, it is a conscious decision to release the negative emotions and thoughts that keep us trapped in a cycle of anger, bitterness, and pain. It is a choice to prioritize our own well-being and the health of our relationships over the temporary satisfaction of holding on to a grudge. The path of forgiveness often begins with self-reflection and self-compassion. Take time to acknowledge and validate the hurt, anger, or betrayal you have experienced, without judgment or self-blame. Recognize that these emotions are a natural response to the situation, and that healing is a gradual process that requires patience and gentleness with yourself. As you work through your own emotions, seek to understand the perspective and experience of the other party. This does not mean excusing their behavior or minimizing the harm caused, but rather striving to see the situation through their eyes. Consider the underlying needs, fears, or wounds that may have contributed to their actions, without absolving them of responsibility. Forgiveness is a deeply personal choice, and there is no one-size-fits-all timeline or approach. For some, forgiveness may come quickly and easily, while for others, it may be a long and difficult journey. Honor your own process and trust your instincts about when and how to extend forgiveness, if at all. In some cases, it may be necessary to establish boundaries or limit contact with the other party in order to prioritize your own safety and well-being. The act of forgiveness can be a powerful catalyst for personal growth and transformation. By choosing to let go of past hurts and resentments, we create space for new perspectives, experiences, and relationships to enter our lives. We develop greater resilience, adaptability, and emotional intelligence, as well as a deeper sense of empathy and connection with others. Forgiveness also has profound benefits for our physical and mental health. Holding on to anger and resentment can lead to chronic stress, anxiety, and other health problems, while practicing forgiveness has been shown to lower blood pressure, boost immune function, and increase overall well-being. By releasing the toxic emotions that weigh us down, we create a foundation for greater vitality, joy, and fulfillment. In the context of conflict resolution, forgiveness can be a powerful tool for rebuilding trust, rapport, and collaboration. When we extend forgiveness to others, we send a message of goodwill and a desire to move forward in a positive direction. This can open the door to renewed dialogue, problem solving, and mutual understanding, even in the face of significant challenges or differences. However, forgiveness is not always easy or straightforward, particularly in cases of deep hurt, betrayal, or injustice. It is important to recognize that forgiveness is a process, not a one-time event, and that it may involve setbacks, doubts, and ongoing challenges. Be patient and compassionate with yourself as you navigate this journey, and seek support from trusted friends, family members, or professionals when needed. The wisdom of Confucius reminds us that true strength and resilience come not from holding on to past hurts, but from the ability to let go and move forward with grace and understanding. By cultivating the practice of forgiveness in our lives, we tap into a powerful source of healing, growth, and transformation. With each act of forgiveness, we contribute to a world where compassion and understanding triumph over division and conflict. Forgiveness is a skill that requires ongoing practice, reflection, and dedication. It asks us to confront our own shadows, to extend empathy and understanding to others, and to believe in the possibility of healing and reconciliation. By making forgiveness a cornerstone of our approach to conflict resolution, we become more effective peacemakers, leaders, and agents of positive change. The path of forgiveness is a journey of courage, vulnerability, and great reward. It is a path that leads us towards greater wholeness, resilience, and connection with ourselves and others. With each step we take in the direction of forgiveness, we create ripples of healing and transformation that extend far beyond ourselves. So let us move forward with open hearts and a deep commitment to the power of letting go, trusting in the wisdom of Confucius to guide us towards a brighter, more compassionate future for all. Chapter 16. Rebuilding Trust. Restoring Relationships After Conflict. Trust forms the bedrock of healthy relationships, enabling us to feel safe, respected, and connected to others. However, when conflicts arise, trust can quickly erode, leaving behind feelings of betrayal, disappointment, and insecurity. Confucius understood the vital importance of rebuilding trust in the aftermath of conflict, recognizing that it is a critical step towards healing, reconciliation, and the restoration of harmonious relationships. Rebuilding trust is a gradual process that requires patience, consistency, and a sincere commitment to change. It begins with an honest acknowledgement of the hurt and damage caused by the conflict, as well as a willingness to take responsibility for one's role in the situation. This may involve offering a genuine apology, expressing remorse, and demonstrating a clear understanding of the impact of one's actions on the other person. Effective apologies involve more than just saying, "I'm sorry." They require a specific acknowledgement of the hurtful behavior, an expression of empathy for the pain caused, and a commitment to making amends and preventing future harm. When offering an apology, it is important to avoid making excuses, shifting blame, or minimizing the significance of the situation. Instead, focus on listening actively to the other person's experience, validating their feelings, and expressing a sincere desire to repair the relationship. Once an apology has been offered and accepted, the next step in rebuilding trust is to follow through with consistent, trustworthy behavior over time. This means keeping commitments, being reliable and dependable, and demonstrating a genuine effort to change problematic patterns or habits. It may involve setting clear boundaries, establishing new rules of engagement, or seeking outside support, such as therapy or mediation, to work through lingering issues. Rebuilding trust also requires a willingness to be vulnerable and transparent with one another. This means being honest about one's thoughts, feelings, and needs, even when it feels uncomfortable or risky. It involves creating a safe space for open communication, where both parties can express themselves without fear of judgment, criticism, or retaliation. By demonstrating a commitment to honesty and authenticity, we create a foundation for renewed connection and understanding. In some cases, rebuilding trust may require a reevaluation of the relationship itself. This may involve acknowledging that the relationship has changed as a result of the conflict, and that it may not be possible or desirable to return to the way things were before. Instead, the focus should be on creating a new, healthier dynamic that is based on mutual respect, accountability, and a shared commitment to growth and healing. Throughout the process of rebuilding trust, it is important to practice patience and self-compassion. Recognize that healing takes time, and that setbacks and challenges are a normal part of the journey. Be gentle with yourself and others, acknowledging that mistakes will be made, and that forgiveness may need to be extended multiple times. By maintaining a compassionate and understanding attitude, we create a more supportive environment for trust to regrow. Rebuilding trust also involves a willingness to let go of the past and focus on the present and future. This does not mean forgetting or minimizing the impact of the conflict, but rather choosing to release resentments, grudges, and the desire for retribution. By practicing forgiveness and embracing a forward-looking perspective, we create space for new possibilities and positive experiences to emerge. The wisdom of Confucius reminds us that trust is the foundation upon which all healthy relationships are built. By approaching the process of rebuilding trust with patience, honesty, and a sincere commitment to growth and healing, we tap into a powerful source of resilience and renewal. With each step we take towards rebuilding trust, we contribute to a world where relationships are characterized by integrity, compassion, and mutual understanding. Rebuilding trust is a skill that requires ongoing practice, self-reflection, and a willingness to confront difficult emotions and challenges. It asks us to extend empathy and forgiveness to others, while also holding ourselves accountable for our own actions and choices. By making trust building a central part of our approach to conflict resolution, we become more effective communicators, collaborators, and leaders. The path of rebuilding trust is a deeply rewarding one, leading us towards greater wholeness, resilience, and connection with ourselves and others. With dedication, skill, and an unwavering commitment to the values of honesty, compassion, and personal responsibility, we can transform even the most broken relationships into sources of strength, healing, and mutual growth. By embodying the timeless wisdom of Confucius in our own lives, we light the way forward, one trust-building step at a time. Chapter 17. Conflict Prevention. Fostering harmony in relationships. Preventing conflicts from arising in the first place is often more effective and less costly than trying to resolve them after they have escalated. Confucius emphasized the importance of cultivating harmony in relationships as a way to minimize the occurrence of conflicts and promote a more peaceful, cooperative society. By developing the skills and habits that foster positive, respectful interactions, we create a strong foundation for healthy relationships that can withstand the challenges and tensions that inevitably arise. One key aspect of conflict prevention is developing a keen sense of self-awareness. This means being attuned to our own thoughts, feelings, and reactions, particularly in situations that have the potential to trigger conflict. By recognizing our own emotional patterns and behavioral tendencies, we can learn to respond more skillfully and consciously, rather than reacting impulsively or defensively. Self-awareness also involves being honest with ourselves about our own role in creating or contributing to conflicts. This requires a willingness to examine our own assumptions, biases, and communication styles, and to take responsibility for the impact of our words and actions on others. When we approach conflicts with a spirit of humility and a commitment to personal growth, we create space for more constructive, collaborative interactions. Another important aspect of conflict prevention is building strong, trusting relationships characterized by open communication, mutual respect, and a shared commitment to understanding. This means taking the time to really listen to others, to seek out their perspectives and experiences, and to validate their feelings and concerns. It also means being proactive in expressing our own needs, boundaries, and expectations clearly and directly, without blame or judgment. When we invest in building positive relationships, we create a buffer against the stresses and tensions that can lead to conflict. We develop a sense of goodwill, rapport, and shared purpose that allows us to navigate differences and challenges more smoothly and collaboratively. We also create a safe space for addressing concerns or misunderstandings early on, before they have a chance to fester and escalate. Conflict prevention also involves being proactive in identifying and addressing potential sources of tension or disagreement before they become full-blown conflicts. This means being attuned to changes in the emotional climate of a relationship or group, and taking steps to address concerns or issues in a timely and constructive manner. It may involve initiating difficult conversations, setting clear expectations and boundaries, or seeking outside support or mediation when necessary. In some cases, conflict prevention may require making changes to the structures, systems, or power dynamics that contribute to recurring tensions or inequities. This may involve advocating for greater transparency, inclusivity, or fairness in decision-making processes, or working to dismantle oppressive or discriminatory practices that fuel conflict and division. By being willing to challenge the status quo and work towards more just and equitable relationships and institutions, we create a foundation for lasting harmony and peace. Throughout the process of cultivating harmony and preventing conflicts, it is important to practice patience, persistence, and a long-term perspective. Building strong, resilient relationships takes time and ongoing effort, and there will inevitably be setbacks and challenges along the way. By maintaining a commitment to growth, learning, and mutual understanding, we can weather these difficulties and emerge stronger and more connected on the other side. The wisdom of Confucius reminds us that true harmony is not the absence of conflict, but rather the ability to navigate differences with grace, skill, and a spirit of collaboration. By developing the self-awareness, communication skills, and relational habits that promote understanding and prevent unnecessary conflicts, we tap into a powerful source of resilience, creativity, and shared purpose. With each step we take towards cultivating harmony in our own relationships and communities, we contribute to a world where cooperation and mutual respect are the norm, and where conflicts give way to opportunities for growth and positive change. Conflict prevention is a practice that requires ongoing attention, reflection, and a willingness to learn and adapt. It asks us to be proactive in building strong, trusting relationships, to communicate openly and honestly, and to approach differences with a spirit of curiosity and goodwill. By making conflict prevention a central part of our approach to relationships and social interactions, we become more effective collaborators, leaders, and peacemakers. The path of conflict prevention is a challenging but deeply rewarding one, leading us towards greater connection, resilience, and shared purpose. It is a path that requires courage, vulnerability, and a deep commitment to the values of compassion, honesty, and mutual understanding. By embodying these values in our own lives, and by working tirelessly to build a world where harmony and cooperation are the norm, we help create a brighter, more peaceful future for ourselves and generations to come. This is the enduring promise and potential of embracing the timeless wisdom of Confucius in our own lives and relationships. Chapter 18. The role of rituals and ceremonies in conflict resolution. Rituals and ceremonies play a significant role in many cultures as a means of marking important transitions, celebrating shared values, and promoting social cohesion. Confucius recognized the power of rituals and ceremonies in fostering a sense of harmony, order, and mutual understanding, particularly in times of conflict or tension. By incorporating meaningful rituals and ceremonies into the process of conflict resolution, we can create a more structured, intentional, and transformative experience for all involved. Rituals and ceremonies serve many important functions in the context of conflict resolution. They provide a clear, structured framework for the process, helping to create a sense of predictability, safety, and containment. They mark the conflict resolution process as a special, sacred time and space, set apart from the ordinary flow of daily life. This helps participants to approach the process with greater intention, focus, and openness to transformation. Rituals and ceremonies often involve symbolic actions, gestures, or objects that hold deep meaning and significance for those involved. These symbols can serve as powerful anchors for the emotions, insights, and commitments that arise during the conflict resolution process. They can help to make abstract concepts or feelings more tangible and memorable, creating a lasting imprint on the hearts and minds of participants. For example, a ritual of lighting candles or sharing a meal together can symbolize the willingness to bring light and nourishment to the relationship, even in the face of conflict. A ceremony of writing down one's grievances or regrets, and then burning the paper can symbolize the release of past hurts and the commitment to move forward in a spirit of forgiveness and renewal. By engaging in these symbolic acts, participants can access deeper levels of meaning and transformation than words alone can convey. Rituals and ceremonies can also help to create a sense of shared identity, purpose, and values among participants. By participating in a common set of actions or traditions, people can feel a stronger sense of connection and belonging to one another, even in the midst of disagreements or differences. This sense of unity can be particularly important in conflicts that involve larger groups or communities, helping to prevent the escalation of tensions along lines of us versus them. Effective rituals and ceremonies in conflict resolution often draw upon the cultural traditions, beliefs, and values of the participants involved. By incorporating elements that are meaningful and resonant within a particular cultural context, the ritual or ceremony can feel more authentic, relevant, and transformative for those involved. This can also help to build trust and rapport between participants, as it demonstrates a respect for and understanding of their unique cultural identities and perspectives. At the same time, it is important to approach the use of rituals and ceremonies in conflict resolution with sensitivity and care. Not all cultural traditions or practices may be appropriate or effective in every context, and it is important to avoid imposing rituals or ceremonies that feel inauthentic, coercive, or disrespectful to participants. The most effective rituals and ceremonies are those that emerge organically from the needs, values, and desires of the participants themselves, rather than being imposed from the outside. When designing rituals or ceremonies for conflict resolution, it can be helpful to involve participants in the planning process as much as possible. This can help to ensure that the ritual or ceremony feels meaningful and relevant to everyone involved, and can also promote a sense of ownership and investment in the process. It may also be useful to draw upon the expertise of cultural leaders, elders, or other respected figures who can help to guide the process in a way that is sensitive and appropriate to the cultural context. Rituals and ceremonies can be incorporated into many different stages of the conflict resolution process, from the initial coming together of the parties to the final sealing of agreements or commitments. They can be as simple as a shared moment of silence, or as elaborate as a multi-day feast or festival. The key is to find rituals and ceremonies that feel authentic, meaningful, and transformative for the specific individuals and communities involved. The wisdom of Confucius suggests that the power of rituals and ceremonies lies not only in their outward forms, but also in the inner states of mind and heart that they evoke. By approaching rituals and ceremonies with sincerity, reverence, and an openness to transformation, we can tap into their deeper potential as catalysts for healing, reconciliation, and growth. With each ritual or ceremony we engage in, we create ripples of positive change that extend far beyond the immediate resolution of any single conflict. The role of rituals and ceremonies in conflict resolution is a rich and complex one, inviting us to explore the intersections of culture, spirituality, and social harmony. By learning to harness the power of rituals and ceremonies in our own lives and communities, we expand our repertoire of tools and strategies for navigating conflict with greater skill, compassion, and creativity. May we find inspiration and guidance in the timeless wisdom of Confucius as we seek to bring more light, more understanding, and more peace to a world in need of healing and transformation. Chapter 19. Navigating Cross-Cultural Conflicts, Bridging Differences. In an increasingly interconnected and globalized world, the ability to effectively navigate cross-cultural conflicts has become an essential skill for leaders, diplomats, and everyday individuals alike. Confucius, though rooted in the specific cultural context of ancient China, recognized the importance of understanding and respecting cultural differences in fostering social harmony and resolving conflicts. By developing our cross-cultural competence and learning to bridge differences with skill and sensitivity, we can become more effective agents of positive change in an ever-diversifying world. Cross-cultural conflicts arise when individuals or groups from different cultural backgrounds hold divergent values, beliefs, communication styles, or behavioral norms. These differences can lead to misunderstandings, miscommunications, and tensions that can quickly escalate into full-blown conflicts if not addressed skillfully. Navigating these conflicts requires a deep understanding of one's own cultural biases and assumptions, as well as a genuine curiosity and openness to learning about the perspectives and experiences of others. One key aspect of navigating cross-cultural conflicts is developing cultural self-awareness. This means taking the time to reflect on our own cultural identities, values, and communication styles, and how they may differ from those of others. It involves recognizing that our way of seeing and interacting with the world is not necessarily universal or right, but rather one of many valid cultural lenses. By cultivating this self-awareness, we can begin to identify and challenge our own biases and assumptions, and approach cross-cultural interactions with greater humility and flexibility. Another important skill in navigating cross-cultural conflicts is active listening and perspective taking. This means making a genuine effort to understand the experiences, beliefs, and values of individuals from different cultural backgrounds, without judgment or assumption. It involves asking open-ended questions, paying attention to nonverbal cues, and seeking to understand the deeper meanings and motivations behind people's words and actions. By practicing active listening and perspective taking, we can begin to build bridges of understanding and empathy across cultural divides. Effective communication is also critical in navigating cross-cultural conflicts. This means being aware of differences in communication styles, such as the use of direct versus indirect language, the role of silence or pauses, or the importance of context and relationship building. It may involve learning new language skills or working with translators and cultural interpreters to ensure that messages are being conveyed accurately and appropriately. It also means being mindful of power dynamics and cultural norms around authority, status, and decision-making, and adapting one's communication style accordingly. When navigating cross-cultural conflicts, it is important to approach the process with patience, flexibility, and a willingness to learn and adapt. This may involve slowing down the pace of interactions, taking extra time to build relationships and establish trust, or being open to trying new approaches or solutions that may differ from one's own cultural norms. It may also involve being willing to apologize for cultural missteps or misunderstandings, and to work collaboratively to find mutually acceptable ways forward. In some cases, navigating cross-cultural conflicts may require the assistance of third-party facilitators or mediators who are skilled in bridging cultural differences. These individuals can help to create a safe and neutral space for dialogue, to translate and interpret cultural nuances, and to guide the process towards a mutually satisfactory resolution. They can also help to build the capacity of individuals and groups to navigate future cross-cultural conflicts on their own, by modeling effective communication and problem-solving skills. Ultimately, the key to navigating cross-cultural conflicts is to approach the process with a spirit of curiosity, respect, and a genuine desire for mutual understanding. It requires a willingness to step outside of one's own cultural comfort zone, to listen deeply to the experiences and perspectives of others, and to work collaboratively towards solutions that honor the needs and values of all involved. By cultivating these attitudes and skills, we can begin to build a world where diversity is celebrated as a source of strength and creativity, rather than feared as a threat to social harmony. The wisdom of Confucius reminds us that true unity is not found in uniformity, but rather in the harmonious interplay of diverse elements. By learning to navigate the richness and complexity of cultural differences with skill, sensitivity, and grace, we tap into a powerful source of resilience, innovation, and shared prosperity. With each cross-cultural conflict we navigate successfully, we contribute to a world where bridges of understanding and cooperation are built across even the widest divides. Though the path of navigating cross-cultural conflicts is not always an easy one, it is a path of great importance and profound rewards. It is a path that asks us to expand our hearts and minds, to challenge our assumptions and biases, and to work tirelessly towards a world where all people can live together in mutual understanding and respect. May the timeless teachings of Confucius continue to guide and inspire us on this essential human endeavor, as we strive to build a global community of peace, justice, and enduring harmony. Chapter 20. The Art of Mediation. Facilitating dialogue and understanding. Mediation is a powerful tool for resolving conflicts and fostering mutual understanding between individuals or groups. Confucius recognized the importance of skilled mediators in promoting social harmony and peace, particularly in situations where direct communication between conflicting parties had broken down. By developing the art of mediation and learning to facilitate constructive dialogue, we can become more effective agents of positive change in our families, communities, and the world at large. At its core, mediation is a process of guided communication and problem-solving, in which a neutral third party helps conflicting parties to express their perspectives, needs, and concerns, and to work collaboratively towards mutually satisfactory solutions. Effective mediators possess a range of skills and qualities, including empathy, impartiality, active listening, and the ability to reframe conflicts in a way that promotes understanding and cooperation. One key aspect of the art of mediation is creating a safe and supportive environment for dialogue. This means establishing clear ground rules and boundaries, such as agreeing to speak respectfully, to listen without interruption, and to maintain confidentiality. It may also involve selecting a neutral location for the mediation, arranging seating in a way that promotes eye contact and engagement, and attending to the physical comfort needs of participants. By creating a space that feels secure and conducive to open communication, mediators help participants to feel heard, respected, and empowered to engage in constructive problem solving. Another important skill in the art of mediation is active listening and reflection. This means giving one's full attention to each speaker, listening not only to the words being said, but also to the emotions, values, and needs underlying them. Effective mediators use techniques such as paraphrasing, summarizing, and asking clarifying questions to ensure that they have accurately understood each party's perspective. They also help participants to feel heard and validated by reflecting back key points and themes, and by acknowledging the legitimacy of each party's experiences and concerns. The art of mediation also involves helping parties to reframe conflicts in a way that promotes mutual understanding and collaboration. This may involve identifying common ground or shared interests, even amidst seemingly intractable differences. It may also involve helping parties to separate positions what they want from interests why they want it, and to explore creative solutions that satisfy the underlying needs and concerns of all involved. By shifting the focus from blame and competition to understanding and cooperation, skilled mediators can help transform conflicts into opportunities for growth, learning, and positive change. In some cases, the art of mediation may also involve managing strong emotions and power imbalances between parties. Effective mediators remain calm and centered in the face of intense expressions of anger, fear, or grief, and help participants to express these emotions in a way that is safe and constructive. They also attend to issues of power and privilege, ensuring that all parties have an equal opportunity to be heard and to influence the outcome of the mediation. This may involve using techniques such as caucusing meetings separately with each party, reality testing, exploring the feasibility and consequences of proposed solutions, and empowering parties to make their own decisions. The benefits of developing the art of mediation extend far beyond the resolution of specific conflicts. By modeling effective communication, problem solving, and conflict transformation skills, mediators help to build the capacity of individuals and communities to navigate challenges and differences in a more constructive way. They also contribute to a culture of peace and understanding, in which conflicts are seen not as threats to be avoided or eliminated, but as opportunities for growth, learning, and positive change. Developing the art of mediation requires a commitment to ongoing learning, practice, and self-reflection. Aspiring mediators can benefit from formal training programs, as well as from seeking out opportunities to observe and learn from experienced practitioners. They can also cultivate their skills through regular practice, such as volunteering at community mediation centers or facilitating dialogue in their own families and social circles. By approaching the art of mediation with humility, curiosity, and a genuine desire to serve, we can all become more effective agents of peace and understanding in a world that sorely needs them. The wisdom of Confucius reminds us that the true measure of a society is not in the absence of conflicts, but in the way those conflicts are resolved. By developing the art of mediation and working to facilitate constructive dialogue and mutual understanding, we contribute to a world where conflicts are transformed into opportunities for growth, healing, and positive change. It is a noble calling, one that requires great skill, compassion, and perseverance, but one that holds immense promise for the future of our shared humanity. May we all find ways to cultivate the art of mediation in our own lives and communities, drawing strength and inspiration from the timeless teachings of Confucius. And may our efforts help to bring forth a world of greater peace, justice, and enduring harmony, one conversation at a time. Chapter 21. Seeking wisdom from mentors and elders in conflict situations. In times of conflict and uncertainty, the guidance and wisdom of mentors and elders can be an invaluable resource. Confucius himself was a great proponent of learning from those who have gone before us, recognizing that their life experiences and insights can help to illuminate the path forward. By actively seeking out the counsel of trusted mentors and elders, we can gain new perspectives, avoid common pitfalls, and find the courage and clarity to navigate even the most challenging conflict situations. Mentors and elders offer a wealth of knowledge and expertise that can be particularly helpful when we find ourselves in uncharted territory. They have often faced similar challenges and conflicts in their own lives, and have learned valuable lessons through trial and error. By sharing their stories and strategies, they can help us to anticipate potential obstacles, identify blind spots in our own thinking, and develop a more nuanced understanding of the complex dynamics at play. One key benefit of seeking guidance from mentors and elders is that they can provide a more objective and balanced perspective on the conflict at hand. When we are deeply embroiled in a dispute or disagreement, it can be difficult to see the situation clearly, as our own emotions, biases, and assumptions can cloud our judgment. Mentors and elders, who are removed from the immediate heat of the conflict, can offer a fresh and impartial viewpoint, helping us to identify areas where we may be contributing to the problem or overlooking potential solutions. In addition to offering practical advice and problem-solving strategies, mentors and elders can also provide emotional support and encouragement during times of conflict. They can remind us of our own strengths and resilience, and help us to maintain a sense of perspective and purpose, even in the face of adversity. By sharing their own stories of overcoming challenges and setbacks, they can inspire us to persist in the face of obstacles and to trust in our own abilities to find a way forward. When seeking wisdom from mentors and elders, It is important to approach the process with respect, humility, and an open mind. This means taking the time to carefully consider their advice and insights, even if they may differ from our own initial instincts or preferences. It also means being willing to ask questions, clarify points of confusion, and engage in honest dialogue about the challenges we are facing. At the same time, it is important to remember that mentors and elders are not infallible, and their advice may not always be appropriate or applicable to our specific situation. We must use our own discernment and judgment to assess the relevance and value of their guidance, and to integrate it with our own knowledge, values, and goals. The goal is not to blindly follow the advice of others, but rather to use their wisdom as a resource to inform and enrich our own decision-making process. One practical way to seek wisdom from mentors and elders is to actively cultivate relationships with those we admire and respect. This may involve reaching out to experienced colleagues, community leaders, or family members who have demonstrated integrity, compassion, and skill in navigating conflicts. It may also involve participating in formal mentorship programs or seeking out opportunities to learn from respected figures in our field or industry. Another way to tap into the wisdom of mentors and elders is to study the lives and teachings of historical figures who have faced similar challenges and conflicts. By reading biographies, memoirs, and philosophical works, we can gain insight into how great leaders and thinkers have approached difficult situations and can draw inspiration and guidance from their example. Ultimately, the wisdom of mentors and elders is a precious resource that can help us to navigate the complexities of conflict with greater skill, compassion, and integrity. By actively seeking out their guidance and insight, we open ourselves up to new possibilities for growth, learning, and positive change. We also honor the legacy of those who have come before us and contribute to a culture of intergenerational wisdom and collaboration. The teachings of Confucius remind us that true wisdom is not a solitary pursuit, but a collaborative and iterative process. By seeking out the counsel of mentors and elders, we tap into a vast reservoir of knowledge and experience that can help us to navigate even the most challenging conflict situations. It is a practice that requires humility, patience, and a willingness to learn from others, but one that holds immense potential for personal and collective transformation. So let us make a commitment to actively seek out the wisdom of mentors and elders in our own lives and communities, drawing strength and inspiration from their example. And let us endeavor to become mentors and elders ourselves, sharing our own hard-won insights and experiences with the next generation of leaders and changemakers. In this way, we help to build a world where wisdom is cherished, conflicts are transformed, and the legacy of Confucius endures as a guiding light for all who seek to walk the path of peace and understanding. Chapter 22. Applying Confucian Principles in the Workplace. Conflict is an inevitable part of the modern workplace, where individuals with diverse backgrounds, personalities, and working styles come together to achieve common goals. Confucian principles offer valuable insights and strategies for navigating these conflicts in a way that promotes harmony, productivity, and mutual respect. By understanding and applying these timeless teachings, we can foster a more positive and collaborative work environment, even in the face of complex challenges and disagreements. One key Confucian principle that is particularly relevant to the workplace is the concept of ren, or benevolence. This principle emphasizes the importance of treating others with kindness, empathy, and respect, regardless of their position or status within the organization. In practice, this means taking the time to listen to our colleagues' perspectives and concerns, acknowledging their contributions and efforts, and showing genuine care for their well-being and success. By cultivating a culture of benevolence in the workplace, we create a foundation of trust and goodwill that can help to prevent conflicts from escalating and facilitate more constructive problem-solving. When individuals feel valued and respected by their colleagues and supervisors, they are more likely to engage in open and honest communication, to collaborate effectively, and to go above and beyond in their work. Another important Confucian principle for managing workplace conflicts is the concept of lie, or propriety. This principle emphasizes the importance of following established rules, protocols, and social norms in order to maintain order and harmony within the group. In the workplace, this may involve adhering to company policies and procedures, respecting the chain of command, and using appropriate channels for expressing concerns or grievances. At the same time, the principle of propriety also recognizes that rules and norms are not always sufficient to address the complex realities of human relationships and conflicts. There may be times when a more flexible and nuanced approach is needed, one that takes into account the unique needs and circumstances of the individuals involved. In these cases, leaders and managers must use their judgment and discretion to find a balance between upholding standards and accommodating individual differences. A third Confucian principle that is particularly relevant to workplace conflict resolution is the concept of he, or harmony. This principle emphasizes the importance of finding ways to reconcile opposing viewpoints and interests in order to achieve a state of balance and unity within the group. In practice, this may involve seeking out common ground, making compromises, and finding creative solutions that satisfy the needs and concerns of all parties involved. To cultivate a culture of harmony in the workplace, leaders and managers must model effective communication and problem-solving skills, and create opportunities for team members to collaborate and build relationships across different departments and levels of the organization. This may involve organizing team-building activities, facilitating regular check-ins and feedback sessions, and providing training and support for conflict resolution and mediation. At the same time, it is important to recognize that true harmony does not mean the absence of all conflicts or differences. Rather, it is the ability to navigate and resolve these conflicts in a way that strengthens rather than undermines the overall cohesion and effectiveness of the group. This requires a willingness to engage in difficult conversations, to confront uncomfortable truths, and to work through disagreements with patience, empathy, and a commitment to finding mutually beneficial solutions. When applying Confucian principles to workplace conflict resolution, it is also important to consider the role of leadership and authority. Confucius emphasized the importance of moral and ethical leadership, in which those in positions of power use their influence to promote the greater good and to set a positive example for others to follow. In the workplace, this means that leaders and managers must act with integrity, fairness, and a genuine concern for the well-being of their team members. At the same time, Confucian teachings also recognize the importance of hierarchy and respect for authority in maintaining social order and stability. In the workplace, this may involve establishing clear roles and responsibilities, providing guidance and direction when needed, and enforcing rules and standards consistently and fairly. However, it is important to balance this respect for authority with a commitment to empowering and engaging team members and creating opportunities for them to contribute their ideas and expertise. Applying Confucian principles to workplace conflict resolution is not always easy or straightforward. It requires a deep understanding of the complex social, emotional, and cultural factors that shape human behavior and relationships, as well as a willingness to adapt and innovate in response to changing circumstances. However, by embracing these timeless teachings and putting them into practice, we can create more harmonious, productive, and fulfilling work environments for ourselves and our colleagues. The teachings of Confucius offer a powerful framework for navigating the challenges and complexities of the modern workplace. By cultivating a culture of benevolence, propriety, harmony, and ethical leadership, we can transform conflicts into opportunities for growth, learning, and positive change. It is a noble and worthwhile endeavor, one that requires ongoing commitment, skill, and compassion, but one that holds immense potential for creating a more just, peaceful, and prosperous world, one workplace at a time. Chapter 23. Teaching conflict resolution skills to the next generation. Conflict is an inevitable part of the human experience, and the ability to navigate and resolve conflicts effectively is a critical skill for success in all aspects of life. As parents, educators, and community leaders, We have a responsibility to teach the next generation the principles and practices of conflict resolution, so that they may be better equipped to build a more peaceful, just, and harmonious world. By drawing on the timeless wisdom of Confucius and integrating it with modern insights and strategies, we can provide young people with a powerful framework for understanding and transforming conflicts in their personal, professional, and civic lives. One key aspect of teaching conflict resolution skills to the next generation is helping them to develop a strong foundation of self-awareness and emotional intelligence. This involves teaching young people to recognize and manage their own emotions, to communicate their needs and feelings effectively, and to empathize with the perspectives and experiences of others. By cultivating these skills from an early age, we can help children and youth to develop the resilience, adaptability, and interpersonal competence needed to navigate conflicts with skill and compassion. Practical strategies for promoting self-awareness and emotional intelligence in young people include incorporating mindfulness and reflective practices into daily routines, providing opportunities for open and honest dialogue about feelings and experiences, and modeling healthy emotional expression and regulation. We can also teach children specific tools and techniques for managing strong emotions, such as deep breathing, progressive muscle relaxation, and positive self-talk. Another important aspect of teaching conflict resolution skills to the next generation is helping them to develop effective communication and problem-solving abilities. This involves teaching young people how to listen actively and attentively, to express themselves clearly and assertively, and to engage in collaborative problem-solving processes. By learning these skills in a supportive and nurturing environment, children and youth can develop the confidence and competence needed to address conflicts constructively and creatively. Practical strategies for promoting effective communication and problem-solving skills in young people include providing opportunities for role-playing and simulations, teaching specific communication techniques such as I statements and active listening, and engaging in structured problem-solving processes such as brainstorming and consensus building. We can also model effective communication and problem-solving skills in our own interactions with children and youth, and provide them with ongoing feedback and support as they practice these skills in real-life situations. In addition to teaching individual skills and strategies, it is also important to help young people understand the broader social, cultural, and historical contexts in which conflicts occur. This involves exploring issues such as power, privilege, and oppression, and how these factors can shape the dynamics and outcomes of conflicts. By developing a critical awareness of these larger systems and structures, young people can become more effective agents of change, working to create more just and equitable communities and institutions. Practical strategies for promoting social and cultural awareness in young people include incorporating diverse perspectives and experiences into educational curricula, facilitating dialogues and discussions about issues of social justice and equity, and providing opportunities for young people to engage in community service and civic action. We can also model a commitment to lifelong learning and growth, and encourage young people to seek out mentors and allies who can support them in their efforts to create positive change. Teaching conflict resolution skills to the next generation is not a one-time event, but rather an ongoing process of learning, practice, and reflection. It requires a willingness to engage in difficult conversations, to confront uncomfortable truths, and to model the values and behaviors we wish to see in the world. It also requires a deep commitment to empowering and uplifting young people, and creating the conditions for them to thrive and lead. The teachings of Confucius offer a rich and enduring framework for understanding and transforming conflicts, one that emphasizes the cultivation of virtue, the importance of relationships, and the pursuit of harmony and the greater good. By drawing on this ancient wisdom and integrating it with modern insights and strategies, we can provide the next generation with a powerful set of tools and principles for building a more peaceful, just, and compassionate world. Teaching conflict resolution skills to the next generation is a sacred and essential task, one that requires the full engagement and support of families, schools, and communities. It is a task that calls us to be our best selves, to model the values and behaviors we wish to see in the world, and to invest in the limitless potential of young people to create positive change. By embracing this challenge with creativity, compassion, and a deep commitment to the greater good, we can help to build a brighter, more hopeful future for all. Chapter 24. Conclusion. Embracing Confucian wisdom for a more harmonious world. Throughout this book, we have explored the rich and timeless wisdom of Confucius and its profound relevance for conflict resolution in the modern world. We have seen how Confucian principles such as benevolence, propriety, and harmony offer a powerful framework for understanding and transforming conflicts at all levels, from the interpersonal to the global. We have also examined specific strategies and practices for cultivating the skills and virtues needed to navigate conflicts with compassion, integrity, and skill. At the heart of Confucian teachings on conflict resolution is a deep respect for the inherent dignity and worth of all human beings, and a recognition of our fundamental interconnectedness and interdependence. Confucius understood that conflicts arise not merely from differences in opinions or interests, but from a fundamental misalignment of values, relationships, and social structures. To truly resolve conflicts, therefore, we must work to create a more just, compassionate, and harmonious world, one in which all people have the opportunity to thrive and contribute their unique gifts and talents. This is no easy task, of course, and it requires a sustained commitment to personal and collective growth, learning, and action. It means being willing to confront the root causes of conflict, including issues of power, privilege, and oppression, and to work tirelessly to create more equitable and inclusive communities and institutions. It means cultivating the humility, empathy, and courage needed to engage in difficult conversations, and to seek out win-win solutions that benefit all parties involved. At the same time, embracing Confucian wisdom for conflict resolution also means recognizing the inherent challenges and limitations of human nature, and the need for ongoing practice, reflection, and adaptation. Confucius understood that even the most virtuous and skillful individuals will face setbacks, misunderstandings, and conflicts throughout their lives, and that the path to harmony is one of continuous learning and growth. By approaching conflicts with a spirit of curiosity, openness, and resilience, we can transform even the most difficult challenges into opportunities for deepening our relationships, expanding our understanding, and creating positive change. One of the most powerful ways to embrace Confucian wisdom for conflict resolution is to start with ourselves, and to cultivate the inner virtues and capacities that enable us to show up as our best selves in all of our interactions and relationships. This means committing to ongoing self-reflection and self-cultivation, and developing the mindfulness, emotional intelligence, and communication skills needed to navigate conflicts with grace and skill. It also means being willing to take responsibility for our own thoughts, feelings, and actions, and to apologize and make amends when we have caused harm or contributed to misunderstandings. Another key way to embrace Confucian wisdom for conflict resolution is to prioritize building strong, authentic, and mutually supportive relationships with others. Confucius understood that our relationships are the foundation of a harmonious society, and that by investing in the well-being and growth of those around us, we create a ripple effect of positive change that extends far beyond ourselves. This means taking the time to really listen to and understand others, to express our own needs and feelings honestly and directly, and to work collaboratively to find solutions that honor the needs and aspirations of all involved. Embracing Confucian wisdom for conflict resolution also means being willing to take a stand for justice, compassion, and the greater good, even in the face of resistance or opposition. It means speaking out against injustice and inequality, and working to create more inclusive and equitable communities and institutions. It means being willing to take risks and make sacrifices in the service of a higher purpose, and to inspire and empower others to do the same. Ultimately, the path of Confucian wisdom for conflict resolution is one of great challenge and great promise, one that calls us to be our best selves and to work tirelessly for the betterment of all. It is a path that requires ongoing commitment, courage, and compassion, but one that holds the potential for creating a more just, peaceful, and flourishing world for ourselves and future generations. The teachings of Confucius offer a timeless and ever-relevant guide for this noble endeavor, one that has inspired and transformed countless lives throughout history. By studying, embodying, and sharing these teachings with others, we can tap into a powerful source of wisdom and hope for navigating the complexities and challenges of the modern world. We can become more effective agents of positive change, working to create a world in which all people can thrive and contribute their unique gifts and talents. So let us go forth with renewed commitment, compassion, and courage, armed with the wisdom of Confucius and the timeless principles of harmony, justice, and human flourishing. Let us work tirelessly to cultivate the skills, virtues, and relationships needed to transform conflicts into opportunities for growth, healing, and positive change. And let us never lose sight of the fundamental truth that we are all interconnected, and that by uplifting and empowering one another, we create a brighter, more harmonious future for all. The path ahead may be long and challenging, but it is one of great possibility and promise. May we walk it together with grace, wisdom, and an unwavering commitment to the greater good, guided by the enduring light of Confucian teachings and the boundless potential of the human spirit. For in embracing this ancient wisdom and putting it into practice in our lives and communities, we help to create a world that is more just, compassionate, and peaceful for all.